What's up, guys? Dave here once again for another vlog with Old Man Patterson again.
What's up? How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody again.
And basically, the last time you were in a video was almost 2 years ago.
It's been a long time. Except
when you went for a ride along in this car where the supercharger was put on, and that was a good time.
Yeah, that about scared me to death. That's pretty awesome.
Hold on the whole time. I just got a new twin disc clutch put in this car because the old clutch was just about to die. You could smell it every time you got on the car and everything else. So the people at Injected Engineering up in Kennesaw helped me out, and big thanks to them. Also, quick note, this is the last day that you can get the tuner crate for That Dude in Blue, and I have one of the shirts on right now. It's my 240, and you get a whole bunch of other cool ones too. Right, Dad?
Absolutely. The tuner crate is awesome.
He just got his as well, so we're all stoked about that. Murph is one of those cars where I hop between the 240 and this one, and I still love this car, and the new clutch really helped it too. You never know how bad your car needed maintenance until you get it done. It feels so
good when you get the new clutch or a new piece on your car, even new tires. You know,
especially new tires.
It feels so good when you get them.
But speaking of cars breaking down, I thought today's topic would be fun because you have a story about, I think it was a Monte Carlo that you had?
Yeah, I do. So this was really the time that I really gained a lot of respect for people who worked on cars, because I'm not good at it myself. And years ago, I had well, some people have a knack and a talent for it, and I really respect those people. Years ago, I was fresh out of college, you know, and one day I was coming off an off-ramp, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and there were purple smoke was coming out of my car. And I don't know a lot, but I knew that wasn't good.
Yeah, it's like my 240.
Yeah, I'm like, uh-oh, this isn't good. So I took it to a Gulf station at the time, and the Gulf station folks said, you probably need a new engine. It would be about $1,500, or, you know, the money was $1,500.
Right.
I didn't have $200 at the time. There was no way it was going to happen. So I went back to work, and I was talking to one of the guys who worked back in the warehouse. And this is a gentleman who, I mean, be honest with you, he wasn't really good at reading and writing and all that, but he walked up to me and he said, Steve, I can fix that car. And I said, don't tell me you can if you can't.
Right.
Okay? Because I've had friends like that. Oh yeah, it's only 3 bolts and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's not that simple.
That's pretty much what everybody thinks anymore. It's like, oh yeah, I can fix that, whatever. Yeah. And then you get to that night, and then you're like, oh, we're stuck here with a car that's taken apart.
That's exactly right. And I'm like, so don't tell me that if you can't. He goes, no, I'm telling you I can. He goes, me and my buddy Frank. And I said, who's Frank? He goes, he's a friend of mine who knows how to do all this stuff. And I'm like, you know what? What do you charge me? He said, $80. I said,
okay.
$80? Are you kidding me? I said, you mean I buy the parts and you just gonna charge me $80 to fix it? He goes, yeah. He goes, what it is you have blown piston rings. I'm like, well, what does that mean? And he said, we'll show you. So I said, okay. Tony and I got in the car, and then we drove way out in the middle of the country. We picked up this guy named Frank, and I mean to tell you, I didn't know what I was getting into. Frank was a trip. But we went back to Tony's house, and next thing you know, I just stood there and watched. They loosened the bolts on the engine. They knew how to jack up the engine. They started pushing the pistons up. They showed me where the blown piston rings were.
Yeah.
They showed me how to replace them. And they just took their time, and it was just like watching a surgeon working on something. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, they put it all back together, and they fired the engine up, and it was bouncing all over the place. And I'm like, you know what? That's not good when that engine's jumping all over the place. I know enough to know that. And they said, just remain calm. We're going to torque the engine now. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Well, Frank started working his magic. The next thing you know, it wasn't 30 minutes later, I don't know, whatever. That engine was perfectly still. And it was just purring like a kitten. And I'm like, wow. I said, I can't believe you guys. There was no purple smoke. There was no smoke of any type blowing out of that car. I'm like, man, I can't believe you guys. You guys are all freaking awesome. And they were grinning like a possum and saying, you know, Steve, we know how to do this kind of stuff. We may not have years and years of book experience, but we know how to do this kind of stuff. And I said, you know what? That is awesome.
Which blows me away because it's such an engineering, mechanical engineer kind of thing. And a lot of my friends who know how to work on cars, they're they're beyond me.
Oh, me too. That's part of life, and being a good leader in life is you recognize when other people can do something better than you.
Yeah.
You just admit it and you solicit their help and you learn from them. And I've learned that over the years, because nobody's good at everything. Everybody has different skill sets, but I'll never forget that was a teachable moment. And I've told that story many, many times. And I still, if Tony and Frank are watching this, shout out to them, because I've told that story many times. I really respect those guys.
Didn't you? And another thing too is, didn't you buy that car out of what's called car fever?
Yeah, I did. And you know, again, not having a mechanical background, when I bought that car, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was winging it. And again, I took a friend of mine with me who knew even less about cars than I did.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine."
Oh yeah, it started. It seemed like it ran pretty good. Yeah. Shoot, we didn't know. And so, you know, over the years, I've told that story many times, and I've seen other mechanics do surgery on cars and know how to put engines together and repair clutches or whatever those things are. It still amazes me, because I'm just not screwed together that way to where it comes easy to me. It's just, you know.
Yeah. We're the family where we can write a paper in no time. We can write a 5-page paper in 30 minutes, but it's tough for some of us to like really,
or create videos like you do, you know. You know, my background is sales and marketing and communications and all that, but when it comes to nuts and bolts and putting things together, you know, I struggle with that, to be honest with you.
I think that's a good thing for people to know, is that you don't have to be good at everything.
And you know, part of that also is there's a book out there called Strengths Finders, and it helps you identify what your strengths are.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you should focus on your strengths, not always spend your time trying to improve your weaknesses, because you only have X amount of time.
Yeah.
And you should leverage your strengths more than always try to work on your weaknesses. And that's another thing you learn over the years. If you're really good at something, then leverage that.
But other than that, guys, thanks for watching this quick little video. I hope you guys enjoyed the old man's story.
Hey!
Since he was in town for the holidays and everything else, figured we have some fun. He'd tell a story, and I'll see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already.